You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hey, this is John Preston, Marine Combat Veteran and Pacific Records recording artist. Just reaching out to have you check out our new album, Battle Cry, Songs of America's Heroes, an album featuring phenomenal other combat veteran artists like Scott Brown of the Scooter Brown Band, Ryan Weaver, Rowdy Johnson, just an incredible mix of people. This is all veterans telling our stories and our lives, and we're giving 100% of our proceeds to the Valkyrie Initiative to help veterans and first responders integrate back into society. I myself have battled with post-traumatic stress for many years and lost my own brother, a Marine Corps veteran, to suicide. I ask that you step with us and make this happen. We are in pre-order right now and release on March 17th. Go to iTunes, go to Amazon, buy. We plan on making the charts and making it at a very high level, and your support right now makes a difference. This is the release of my new song, Superman Falls, which is actually about the loss of my own brother, which happened last year, and I would love for everyone to check it out, to listen, and hopefully it'll make a difference in many lives.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Here's George Phirman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Phirman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies, where possibilities are possible. Here's your host, Jason Marshall.
What's up, guys? I've said it before, but September 30th is International Podcast Day. So September is International Podcast Month here at We Don't Have Cookies. Last week we had guests on from New Zealand and Canada. This week we have guests on from the UK, Canada, and New York, because it wouldn't be international if the US wasn't included, right? So it's the guys from the Cave Crew Radio Show. I'm going to bring them in one at a time. First up is somebody everybody who's a regular listener should be familiar with. From London, England, it's ChooChooStu. What's up, man?
Hi, good evening. How are you doing?
Doing good. What's going on with the podcast train?
It's in the sidings at the moment, and it's taking a sort of summer break, an extended summer break. So it may pop up its head again, but I'll bring it back soon, as I will totally from the UK.
Yeah, that would be nice. I got another quick question. Well, I got a couple before we go on to the next guy, but it's been 3 months since you've been on the show. I was wondering why you've waited so long. Is it because I haven't asked you?
Of course. I'm waiting for an invitation.
Well, the last time you were on, man, it was great because you brought some fire against Mama Kate, and I don't think I've seen that side of you. I was really impressed.
Yeah, I did feel a bit bad afterwards, and I was thinking, I didn't mean to sort of roast her. But I mean, I came out of my corner totally fighting. I was well up for it. So.
Oh, yeah, you knocked her out, man. For sure. I'll have a link to that episode in the show notes because that was one of my favorite things that we've done on this podcast. Well, next up is one of the founders of Cave Crew Radio from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. It's DK. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having us on the show, not just me. My first time, ladies and gentlemen, but great to be here. Thank you.
I got to ask, what does DK stand for? I always just assumed your birth name was Donkey Kong. Were your parents big fans?
Donkey Kong, yeah. It'd probably be called a lot worse than that, especially by my wife. But we won't get into that. I have my first name and my middle name are both actually K. So when I first did internet radio podcasting way back when, a lot, I don't want to get into the whole story. I was Double K, was my name for years. And I don't know if one of my co-hosts at one time just started calling me DK for short or whatever. And I just liked the ring of it, and it stuck. So here I am. DK is actually Double K.
Well, I think I speak for everybody by saying, thank God your last name isn't K.
I've been accused of that before on certain shows, as a matter of fact.
I brought you on to sabotage you. I got a bone to pick with you.
Oh, no.
Why can't I ever comment on a Cave Crew Radio Facebook group post about my show?
You can share it anytime you want. I always share your shows.
For some reason, whenever you do, I can't comment to say, usually I comment and say, hey, thanks for sharing the show or whatnot. And for whatever reason, man, I never can on those posts.
You must have pissed off one of the other administrators, so I'll pass that over to Stu and probably Big B because you're making him go third. He just probably blocked you from all the comments. Said, fuck you. Am I allowed to say that? I don't know. You can edit it.
I must have, because I can comment on any other post. And I noticed somebody commented on the last post that you put up. It was some lady saying that she had to work on Labor Day. And I couldn't even reply to her reply. So I don't know what's going on.
You've been muted.
Yeah, you've been muted on your own show. We don't like excess promotion. We'll do it for you and then shut up and see if you get any listeners. That's it. I honestly don't know why. No, I don't know why. We'll have to check something, I guess.
We're going to take a break. and I think I've introduced everybody. So when we come back, I just wanted to see if Brian had a reaction.
Smoke coming out of his ears. I think he's chugging that bourbon or something right now.
I was patiently waiting my introduction. I was trying to be professional.
Well, next up is the other founder of Cave Crew Radio from New York. It's Big B. How you doing, man?
Good. What's going on?
Oh, not much. For people who can't watch this, because this is an audio show, you guys do audio and video. Big B gets his name from the bee costume that he wears on Cave Crew Radio. You can see that on the YouTube versions. It's really impressive. And,
wait, can I ask what's U-turb?
You know that yellow bee suit that you wear. That's gonna be awesome.
Every week I wear a yellow bee suit on U-turb. And by the way, yes, I banned you because you were on our show like 27 weeks in a row, and you were never asked once to be on your show. So I banned you from commenting.
Well, yes, Stu. I think Stu's been on many times, but for some reason we're not allowed.
Right, but we haven't been on. But he comes on. We don't even ask him to come on anymore. He just shows up. Hi guys, I'm here.
I do think, Jason, before you go to your break, this is the first time I think anyone other than when we've done Cave Crew has had the three of us together.
Oh, wow. So I got an exclusive.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, guys?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have YouTube, you need to check it out. It's really cool to see him in the bee costume. He's got a segment called What's Everybody Buzzing About? It's mainly a men's fashion gossip segment. And it's really good.
Yeah, when he talks, it's just like smelling flowers in a quiet garden, folks.
Oh, it's wonderful. Come to New York and you'll find out what flowers in a garden actually smell like.
But he's also got another podcast called Metal Thunder Radio, which I assume is about Foley artists.
It's mimes doing Foley. So they actually pretend to make noise. They don't actually make noise. No, it's Metal Thunder Radio on every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can hear it on cavecrewradio.com. We play metal from all around the world. We play some songs. We talk in between. We have some fun. It's a good time. And we drink a lot.
Well, the last time I was on Cave Crew Radio, I was bamboozled, hoodwinked, if you will. I was brought on the show just to be put on trial, and that was by Brian.
That was the court of urine stench Ellie.
So I want to tell everybody you should go check out that episode. It was a lot of fun. I was put on trial. Let's see, what was it for? It was for murdering somebody.
Stu found it in his, AKA Constable Carson. You're not going to kid me. That's not you, Stu. Anyway, and he found it and sent it over. And yeah, I said, yeah, this is great. We could have some fun with this.
And then we dove deep into the depravity that is Jason Marshall.
Yes, and you actually gave us way more cool stories than what than what the story was going to dive into. So I'd say you put yourself into the fire pit on that one.
Absolutely, but you were ultimately found innocent.
Yes, yeah. Just for those great stories.
Exactly.
And there were stories on that show that I haven't told on this podcast, so make sure you go check that out.
We have a habit of drawing things out, don't we? Dark side of people.
We're going to take a quick break. This week's segments are a song by Mike Phirman called That Wasn't Me, and a BS fact from Beej, who will be my next guest this Thursday. But before we go, I want to quickly tell you about Boss Boxes. It's a monthly gaming subscription box from console gaming to PC games. They have it all to boost your gaming experience. New merchandise from the biggest gaming brands delivered right to your door every month. Even the newest unique items in the gaming product line, they got you covered. So what are you waiting for? Go to bossboxes.store and enter the coupon code WDHC at checkout and get 10% off.
I'm glad we're moving on, that we've both gotten over it. Our breakup was pretty bad there for a while. I look back and feel stupid. It's stupid I was mad. I've been so juvenile. But now that's all over, and peace has been made, and there's just one little thing unsaid that needs to be said. So like, that time a guy drove by and threw a sandwich at your head. That was me. Last Thursday night when the nightclub said they lost your coat. That was me. Social Security believes that you are dead. thanks to me, when in the shower you found that tongue instead of soap. Well, that was me. That was me. I feel really good. The truth is coming out, and I'm just glad we didn't let things go too far. I may have spent $591.18 ruining your life, but I can't afford to let our friendship fall apart. Thank God that's all over. The pain's at an end, and we can be happy as friends. I think enough time has passed that we can look back and laugh. I know I can. The last 3 chapters of all your books that were all torn out. That was me. Who signed you up for the Scientology mailing list? That was me. Somebody peed in your Brita. And that somebody is me. And who wrote that email virus hoping it would get to you? And I'll bet it did. That was me. That was me. Someone told you I was sorry in a note left on your door. That was my roommate, and because of that, he's no one's roommate anymore. I think we've learned a lot from this. God knows I have. 'Cause I've learned how to sign your name and plug your drain and make it rain and plant drugs and drug your plants and shrink your pants, post videos of you throwing up in your hands. And I was responsible for the events of September 11th, 2008, the year somebody stuck a banana in your grandma's tailpipe. And when I say tailpipe, I'm really sorry. And that time you thought that there was just one more stare, that was me. And when that guy hit your new boyfriend with a bat, that was not me. But he did it on my behalf for a fee. That filled in crossword, that was me. Your new car was dirty, someone wrote wash me on the hood with a key and shot your dog into space. And that time you got drunk at the costume party and hooked up with that Japanese dude that never called you back. And on that online message board, who said you should go rent Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? I didn't think you'd actually do it. That was me, the old me.
G'day, Beej here from the BS Pod and also newpodworldorder.com. Did you know in 2008 a man in Montana used a toaster to make toast, wait for it, for his whole family? I bet you this shit is happening all across the globe. Like, the crazy shit.
Want to contact the show? Send an email to jason@wedon'thavecookies.com or call 929-266-9342 and leave a voicemail.
Before the show started, Stu sent me a message saying that he just got off work and needed some coffee. And once again, man, I wish you lived closer because I got this whole section in my kitchen that is just nothing but coffee stuff. I got a Keurig, a French press, an espresso machine, a bean grinder, and like 20 different kinds of coffee. And ever since I moved into my house, nobody but me and my oldest daughter has had any coffee.
I don't know if you get your coffee from the petrol or gas stations, along the road, but I quite often stop either for a cup of tea or coffee, different garages on the way home. And they lock the garage, yeah? They lock the shop part, so you've got to talk through this glass, and then you sort of pass money through into the sliding drawer, and they pull it back, and then they put the change and push it forward. So I was trying to buy a coffee from there, and I had it was 2 guys working in there, and I don't think they spoke English. I was almost like miming what I wanted.
And how do you order a coffee and mime? Did you like My Little Teapot, like a little?
Well, obviously you have to shout because that helps.
If you want,
when you don't speak English, shouting is the ultimate, the universal language.
If you want milk in it, do you have to squeeze your nipples back and forth?
Well, no, that was another thing. But I did actually have to get some milk from them as well. And I just said, "Oh, give me a couple of pints of milk." And they looked at me blank. I said, "Some milk? Okay, milk." And then he finally came back with some milk. And it was like this stuff that was triple filtered something. It wasn't in your normal sort of bottle. I said, "Well, haven't you got any other milk?" It was just a nightmare. So I ended up taking it and brought it home. I don't know what the hell it was, but no one drank it.
Do you not have access to these things when you go in the gas station? Like when we go in gas stations here and they have shops, you got the guy behind the counter, but then you can go to the refrigerator, you can get your milk, it's self-serve coffee, everything. The guy never comes out from behind the counter.
No, it never comes. No, but when it gets to a certain hour, they close they just lock the door. So everything's done through then a window. So if you want something, sometimes they end up running around the shop holding stuff up. Is this what you mean? No. And then he picks up the next item.
Are you fucking kidding me? So there's no 24-hour gas. Here's something I never knew about England.
No, there's 24-hour gas stations, petrol stations, but the majority of them operate through a window. So they've got a whole shop, and in lots of cases like this one where I've been, it's more or less a supermarket inside.
It's
so
like
the guy has to run round while you're miming to him because he can't really speak particularly good English.
It's like trying to win a stuffed animal with one of those claws.
It's the equivalent of going to a crack den when you have to knock. Somebody peers out a little opening in the door. They stick out their dirty hand and give you shit. That's what the equivalent is, apparently.
But it's like they've got like a little trough with a drawer. So you've got a flat surface on the top that comes in and out. And as he pulls it, it exposes the trough. So he pushes the change through and then drops your goodies underneath, once he's got your money.
How big is this drawer that you're getting coffee through? Can you get like a gallon of milk or something?
You wouldn't get a gallon of milk for it, but...
So what happens if you need a gallon of milk? What does he do, unlock the door or...
We don't buy a gallon of milk for a start.
Well, you have them in bags, so they just squeeze the bag through.
It's us that have the bags, and yes, they would go through.
I'm sure regular listeners already know we've had this debate going on for probably the last month about bagged milk. These guys are where it all started. I was on one of their shows, and me and Brian, we've never heard of bagged milk. Well, Brian has because he knows these guys. But that's just not something that happens in the States. So I've been talking to other people in other countries, and nobody in New Zealand has seen bagged milk, and nobody in Germany so far has seen bagged milk. I'm going to be talking to a buddy of mine in Australia here soon. I was hoping to have him on before this episode so we could just put it to rest.
Well, we had one shop, like a nationwide shop, that started doing them, and we invested in the jug. That you had to buy the special jug. And in the lid the lid flaps up, and attached to the lid is like a straw that's got like a speared, pointed end. And there was a technique where you had to hold the lid.
Are you fucked? You do not. You go to the dollar store, get a jug that the bag fits in, and you cut it with scissors, and it pours out.
There was no cutting with scissors. There was a special technique. You put the bag in, but you held the top so it didn't fall all the way down to the bottom of the jug. And then as you're holding the milk bag, you slam the lid down and it basically spikes through to the bag. Now, I was never really allowed to do that after I'd done it a couple of times because I had more milk out of the jug than was in the jug. And
this is, you get bagged milk. One, you have to buy the milk, then you have to buy a jug. Then you have to get the instruction booklet on what to do. It's like fucking assembling furniture.
Yeah.
We just go to the store, get a gallon of milk in a container, unscrew the cap, and pour out milk. It doesn't take an hour and a half to drink milk.
It's not as difficult as you're making it sound. You buy the jug once, it's like $1.49. It's not Robotron like he's talking about over there. No wonder bag milk failed in England. You put the bag in the thing and you cut it with a pair of scissors and it pours like any other thing.
Anytime you have to use a sharp utensil to drink milk, you're doing something wrong. You shouldn't need to cut your milk.
Yeah, no matter how simple you can make bagged milk, it's not as simple as just twisting a lid and pouring it.
Exactly. It's already in a container.
And who buys a gallon of milk? That's about 8 pints. Well, who's going to drink 8 pints of milk?
You have growing kids, right? Kids drink a lot of milk. People put milk in their cereal. People put milk in their pancakes. They're cooking. I don't know.
I thought we got for a lot of milk, but bloody hell.
You get 3 bags of milk in a big bag. That's going to make you even laugh even more. You get 3 bags and 1 more big bag. I don't know why they do it that way.
Yeah, I just found that out on the last episode.
Bulk discount, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Look, it's the only way that I can get milk unless I buy one of those cardboard containers. And you want to talk about messy. When you open those cardboard things, they never open properly. I know you got those in the States in the smaller sizes. And those cardboard ones, you got to pinch it back and then pull it forward, and then you open it, and it leaks all over the place. And listen, I'd love to have jug milk, but it's just not available.
What year are you buying milk in a cardboard container?
I can do it still to this day.
I will tell you, I mean, they may do it in Michigan because you go to Michigan a lot. In New York, we don't sell milk in cardboard containers anymore. It's all in plastic jug-shaped containers. You got your gallon, you got your half gallon, you got a quart. All sizes are in plastic jug-shaped containers with the screw top.
And the other thing, my last guest, she was from Canada. She said that she thinks it's to cut down on waste. Here, like Brian said, all of our milk comes in a plastic jug. And I know that the plastic jug is thicker than the bags, but you have 1 bag with 3 bags in them. I'm not sure how much waste you're cutting down.
I don't know. I was never a milkman. I was never educated in this. You'd have to go to the Bag Milk Wiki to get all the correct answers, I guess. I don't.
And what happens when you get to the end? Like we'll just tip the whole jug over to get every last drop. Do you have to roll the bag up?
No, it's not a toothpaste. No, it's not a tube of toothpaste. The more you pour it, the gravity, the milk is more apt to fall out if you turn upside down a full bag. But as it becomes empty, you just drain the whole thing. You pull the bag out, you throw it away, and you put a new bag in. You smack it once on the counter, and you cut it with the fucking scissors. There you go, milk.
Again, you shouldn't need scissors to drink milk. There's something wrong with that.
What about if you had to milk your own cow? Now, that would be the true nightmare. Getting up half-ass in the morning, you haven't had your coffee yet, you realize you're out of milk, and you're squeezing the shit in your eyes and stuff. Now
but you're still not putting it in a bag. You're putting it in a bucket.
If you hit the bucket.
Have you got Milkmen?
Not anymore. We haven't had Milkmen in 20 years.
What is this, 1957? No.
Well, we have Milkmen.
Really?
I used to do a milk round.
You still have a queen, too.
I used to do a milk round. Can you imagine, trying to leave them on someone's doorstep?
Do you get giant bricks of dry ice to put in the ice box so we freeze things? Not have modern refrigeration either?
They salt their meat to keep it longer.
They wring their clothes on the wringer to wash them.
They make their own soap with lye.
Did you know that
Stu churns butter?
You guys have these electric milk. They're called a milk float. It's like electric, sometimes 3-wheeler that used to deliver the milk. Best job ever for a 12-year-old boy or whatever, sort of hanging on the back of the milk float as it goes around the streets.
I'm trying to picture that. Is it like a rickshaw? Like, what is it?
Yeah, sort of like a big rickshaw, like a sort of minivan type thing. But they only went about 5 miles an hour. So if you got stuck behind one, you were pretty much knackered,
DK, I know you said that. Just kidding. But there actually is a milk bag wiki, and I'm on it right now.
Oh, shit. There's a wiki for everything.
And
I can't fucking believe
there's actually YouTube videos on it.
It's a DJ's best friend, Wiki. Oh, yeah, it's reliable. Don't you worry about it. But as reliable as the stories we report on the show.
Everything in Wikipedia is true.
I wasn't expecting to actually find that when I typed it in.
So exactly when did this come about? And I'm pretty sure it doesn't say DK is the chairman of the board of Bag Milk.
Although we could add that.
Yes.
It looks like it was started in 1967 by Canada. Well, actually, that's just underneath there's actually other sections. That's the Canadian section. Down here is in other countries. And the earliest I see is 1970 in Queensland in Australia. So
there you go. See, they were way before us. You know the story of the three wise men, right? One bought frankincense, one brought myrrh, the other one brought whatever. The Canadian brought bag milk.
I will say that down towards the bottom, there's a section that has benefits and drawbacks. And the benefits is 2 sentences, and the drawback is about 5 to 6 sentence paragraph.
So what's a benefit? I have to hear a benefit.
I don't see a drawback of the thing. This is where we're squaring off here.
It says the principal benefits of bagged milk are economic. For producers, it's easier to vary portion size when sealing the bags than it is for cartons, as well as lowering the cost of packaging. For consumers, bags typically allow for smaller portion sizes, reducing milk spoilage. The drawbacks, when pouring, the top of the bag can turn over, causing the milk to spill. Milk bags cannot easily be sealed once opened.
Sewed?
I wonder if there's like a class.
Why would you sew a fucking milk bag shut? Just
do you have a special class at school where they teach the kids how to do it? So that everyone grows up knowing the right way.
Look, I'm going to give you the greatest trick of all, folks. If you're ever in Canada, you slam the jug on the counter so the bag goes all the way in. All that's left at the top is air and shit. You cut the little hole and it does not spill. Trust me. I've had 5-year-olds do it.
You keep the scissors chained up to the jug, like so they don't disappear. Because
you don't cut them every time you use the milk. You cut it once to open the fucking thing.
Even so, I mean, I had in my little office here, I had 4 pairs of scissors the other day, and tried to look for a pair today. They're gone. So I was thinking of chaining them up, but I wondered whether you would do that with the milk.
You got to send me a picture of that gizmo where you had to push the top down every time you wanted a drink, and with the straw or something. Or
having to use scissors to drink milk, in an extreme circumstance, you could slip and stab yourself in the neck with scissors. So in an extreme circumstance, the ultimate injury in drinking milk is death. I mean,
we're not in Florida. And I shouldn't pick on Florida tonight. But anyway, you're blowing away out of proportion. Yes, a jug would probably be easier the more I think about it. But am I going to go out and try and change the milk monopoly in Canada because I'd rather have a jug? No, I'll get one jug from the States. I'll bring it back. I'll clean it, and I will pour the bottled milk in there, bagged milk in there, and I will just have my jug.
But now I have a question. As you know, I always do. How much does a bag of milk cost?
3 bags are about $3.49.
How much milk is in 3 bags? Like, is that equivalent of a gallon, 2 gallons, 3 gallons?
Here's where I'm going to confuse you. It's a liter, and there are 4.33 liters in a gallon. So
okay, so it's less than a gallon.
Less than a gallon. So 3 bags is probably a gallon jug.
Okay, for $3.49, whatever you said, right?
Yeah.
So that's, if you do the U.S. conversion, that's actually more expensive than how we buy milk here already in the jug.
Everything's more expensive here. It's your oil refineries that are failing down in Texas, and your gas is still half the price of ours. Figure that out. It hasn't even rained here in 2 months.
I think you're missing something here, DK. I think you should start selling Cave Crew milk gallons in Canada.
God. Yeah, but you don't understand how we're taxed over here. Stu, you'd understand because you're more a socialist country over there. But our taxes are terrible. But we have the free Medicare and the roads. We've talked about all this before.
Yeah, that's the trade-off of any socialist economy. You're taxed to an umph degree, whereas we're not taxed as much, but we have to pay for all the services.
Like, I'm not kidding you. On the TV today, that was an actual conversation that someone was having here. We have 20 oil refineries for whatever we have, 30 million people. You guys have 200 for 300 million people. Boy, it's about the same per capita if you work it out, right? Plus, our oil refineries are nowhere near any damage. They're in the center of Canada, in the center of North America. There's no damage there. It went out in Houston, and your gas is still half the price.
Because we get our gas from the Middle East. We don't use our own gas. We export it, which is stupid. If we used our own oil and refined our own gas, our gas prices would be next to nothing.
And yet the battle that you pick, the mountain that you choose to climb on and stand on is bagged milk.
I don't know why you're trying to change the subject, DK.
I'm just saying, I'm looking at oil. That's really expensive. You're nickel and diming me over a little bit of bag milk. I think this is why your country is in such a tailspin right
now. Before we change the subject, I do want to say that I talked to a man in Kentucky. His dad was the last person in that state to be arrested for cattle rustling, and he never heard of bag milk either. So it looks like he should have.
Yeah. He wouldn't have been hung and quartered, whatever he was.
Before we end the show, why don't you guys let listeners know what they can expect on Cave Crew Radio and on Metal Thunder Radio?
I'll let Big B go first because he was last time. So go ahead with Metal Thunder and go ahead with Cave Crew as well.
Well, first, I'll talk about Metal Thunder Radio. Again, like I said, heard every Tuesday night live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch that on cavecrewradio.com. We play metal from all around the world, signed, unsigned, in between songs. We laugh, we have fun, we kill each other, we drink a real lot, and we just have a good time. So, yeah, every Tuesday night live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to cavecrewradio.com to check it out. As far as Cave Crew goes, we're back for season 4 next week, next Thursday, September 14th. Again, live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. More of the same, what you heard here, just a lot of weird news stories. We always have fun with allotment news, which is a big topic of ours.
Which apparently, by the way, I've heard that there is an allotment newsletter coming out by about the end of September. So somewhere around episode 6 of season 4, we should be back to the allotment again.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of the show.
Hopefully, yeah. And we've got a general election going on at the allotment mid-September, I think it is, mid to late September.
I was going to say when Big B was giving his little review, you can pretty much copy and paste 80% of it, except we don't play the music. We insert, stories about ourselves and our families that we think are funny, news stories, pop culture, whatever comes up. And we're going to try and push the envelope a little bit this year. People like you stop by and hang out with us, and who knows? We'll try and come up with some new segments and just try and get stranger and stranger. And we figure the more we laugh, the more you're going to laugh along with us. So cavecrewradio.com, 9 p.m. Thursdays, Eastern, live, on demand, iTunes, Stitcher, Cave Crew Radio, Twitter, Facebook. Go there now.
And the guys will be on next month for Crossover October. I'll be doing their podcast as well. So make sure you subscribe to both shows. You don't want to miss anything. And there might even be some special appearances by some people, too.
What the fuck is Crossover October? I love when I find out about things on air.
Is it the same as like cross-dressing October? Yeah. Is that what it is?
That would be Stu's department, okay?
ChooChooStu.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be crossover episodes where I do somebody's podcast and in exchange they come on mine that week too. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Not? We're going to have a lot of guests and looking forward to that. And Stu's going to be on later this month with another Totally from UK Today extended edition. That's going to be a good time too.
Stu's always a good time. I think Stu's a good time. The more he doesn't prepare, the better his show becomes. He just naturally leads into classics.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for being on the show. It was a lot of fun. And I want to thank everybody for downloading. Make sure you check out Cave Crew Radio. You can go to cavecrewradio.com. And like DK just said, you can find them on iTunes and a million other places.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Tune in live next Thursday for the launch of Season 4 of Cave Crew Radio. Live next Thursday night, September 14th, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, only on cavecrewradio.com.
Thanks for listening. Tell your friends about the show and leave a review. See you next time.
Anytime you have to use a sharp utensil to drink milk, you're doing something wrong.
And now, my very first time on the radio promoting the podcast back in 2015.
And we are back live with Ohio is on Fire. I have my first guest for tonight. He is a nationally known stand-up comedian from the Ohio area. He is the one and only Jason Marshall. Jason, say hello.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Yes, well, welcome to the show, Jason.
Thank you.
All right, so me and Rolly Pulley, we're going to have a good conversation with you, and hopefully it's funny. We'll see. But where do you get the gift of humor from?
I'd say it'd have to be from my mom.
Okay.
Growing up, she always liked to laugh and have a good time. She wasn't so much a joke teller, so to say, but being able to make her laugh and to get that emotion out of her, that really inspired me to keep going with it.
Awesome.
I would have to say it was from her.
Would you, what was like your best moment like on stage, like your funniest moment if you had to?
I would say it was probably at a bar when I went to tell a joke that I didn't think was going to go well, but I figured it was a Tuesday at a bar, so I'd just throw it out there and see what happened. And it went over really well, and I decided that was just going to be my last joke for the night. That's probably the best I've ever felt.
Nice.
Now, in 2016, we might have Donald Trump as the president of the United States. What are your thoughts on that?
If he's the president of the United States, I'd be really happy from a material aspect.
Okay.
Because there's going to be a lot of gold coming out of that.
All right.
As far as him running, I don't agree with what a lot of the things that he's running on.
Yeah.
But the thing that I really like about him is he's showing all the other politicians that we're sick of politicians. And I hope that becomes a trend, not so much his brand coming in, but just people saying, you know, we're tired of the same old stuff, and we're taking the country back and changing things instead of these career politicians. But
right.
Okay.
So what's your view on like candidate Bernie Sanders, like his views?
Man, I tell you what, when he got in, I'm a political junkie. I would take the day off of work the next day from like debates and all that stuff, just so I could stay up and analyze it myself.
All right.
By myself doing it. When Bernie jumped in, I was psyched because him and Trump being in the same political realm is such a contrast.
Right.
That I think that's good for America, just to have such, like I said, stark contrasts on each side, and that kind of opens up the middle for other people.
Okay.
So, I think we've seen a big trend with trying to shy away and getting away from just a two-party system where it's just black or white. You know, we're starting to blend together.
You know, I totally agree. I've crapped on this for several years now, that how come every year we have a presidential election, there's only two people that get all the media press. There actually are always more than two parties. You don't hear about them. They don't have a lot of money. But it would be cool if we had at least four major candidates with different philosophies. That'd be awesome. So I agree with you there.
Yeah, that's what I liked about Bernie Sanders, was like he never changed his view, like when he was just a senator.
Right. And if you watch the Republican debate and you look up there, every single person up there, besides Trump and the governor from New Jersey, I forget his name right off, they all look cookie cutter and just made from the same mold.
I agree.
The only reason the guy from New Jersey looked different, to quote Donald Trump, is because he kind of looked like a slob. His clothes didn't really fit. He stood out in that aspect.
Right.
Well, God help us. We're going to have Donald Trump in 2016 and Kanye West in 2020. This is going to be great. Now, I've heard a lot of stories about comedians. They have superstitions that help them get by when they're on the road. Now, Jason, do you have a superstition that helps you?
I keep, my mom passed away about 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thanks. I always keep a rose petal that was on her casket in my wallet.
Mm-hmm.
And I always feel like that way when I'm up on stage, she's kind of there with me and in everyday life. But even really then, because she never got to see me do anything. And I always try to bring something from my little girl that I can put in my pocket. That way, if I feel nervous or anything like that, I just kind of put my hand in my pocket and, hold whatever that is, and it just makes me feel a little better. So,
excellent.
Now, as a comedian, have you met like any other comedians, like like Gabriel Iglesias, Jeff Dunham, any of them?
I met, I'm blanking on his name, Chris Porter.
Really?
Chris Porter's a hilarious guy. One of the reasons that we got to talking is I know a comedian in LA he's in New York now, that does a podcast that he was on a few times, so we kind of hit it off in those regards.
Right.
There were a few others that I can't really think of right off.
Right.
But
Is there any like comedian that gave you like your inspiration besides like I know your mom gave you your inspiration? Is there any comedian that gave you like the inspiration? I want to be a comedian.
there was a guy I saw, and I don't know if you guys remember Jokers or not.
I remember Jokers.
I feel bad that I'm blanking on the guy's name, but he was up on stage, and I remember thinking, oh my God, this guy's amazing. And he was just the feature act. And when the headliner came up, I just wasn't into him because I was so into that guy's set. And since I wasn't into it, I just walked out of the showroom, and the guy happened to be in the lobby.
Yeah.
And we just sat around for 10 or so minutes talking about comedy and me wanting to do it. And he gave the only advice you can ever give anybody is just, you got to get up there and do it. You can't really prepare or I mean, you can run the jokes over in your mind, but until you get up there, there's no way to replicate what you're in for.
Right.
So that was probably the best advice I ever got from somebody in his position.
Basically, just get up on stage and say, just go for it. If they like you, they like you. If they don't, you try. That's all you can try.
Yeah.
Yes, that's, I agree with that. I think that's true of anything in life. You just don't know until you try it. So absolutely. Now, well, what are your thoughts on, current sitcoms on television, whether it's Netflix or cable? Is there any that you like?
Pretty much all of them aren't very good.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, I like Doctor Who.
They're kind of sucking right now.
As far as TV goes, there's a lot of shows I like Mr. Robot, Humans, Walking Dead, stuff like that. But sitcoms, man, we're in some dull times.
I agree. I think we're kind of slacking right now. We need Full House to come to the rescue come 2016. Yeah, they gotta save us.
Did you like Sons of Anarchy when it was on?
You know, I haven't watched that yet. I've been meaning to. I watched the first episode, and I really liked it, and that was the end for me. So.
It's a good show. That's all I can say.
I did watch Breaking Bad, and man, that was...
Oh, that was just...
That was my show. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good TV on right now. It's just not in the sitcom.
The sitcom, it's like, you can try better. No, come on, Full House.
Yeah.
Do you have any expectations of Stephen Colbert as the new late night host?
You know, I've been thinking about that question, and I don't think I've ever felt as old as I do when I found out Stephen Colbert was taking over.
Oh.
because I think he'll do great. It just reminded me when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Jay Leno stepped up and got his show.
Yes.
And all these, David Letterman came up, and I remember people talking about Johnny Carson, but never really experiencing Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
So now my Johnny Carson's getting replaced, and it's like, it seems like he's got some big shoes. So now I kind of feel like, man, now I'm the old guy, like my parents or something.
Yeah. Like, what do you feel? How do you feel about like the Daily Show with Jon Stewart? Like when he is supposedly retired, like he's retiring.
Right. That was a sad moment because I've been with that show since before Jon Stewart was the host. I think it was Andy Daly or somebody like that started the Daily Show.
Oh yeah.
And it was kind of weird. It was like. Not to be morbid, but it's almost like a friend passing away. It's like we hung out every week for a little while, and now I'm probably never going to see you again.
Right.
So, yeah, that was kind of sad. It was bittersweet though, because now he gets to go out and enjoy his life, and I know he's got tons of money to do it upright. So I'm happy.
Yes, he does.
Especially with WWE.
Yeah. And I saw him on there. That
was interesting.
SummerSlam. So.
Yeah, SummerSlam, yeah.
And Monday Night Raw. That was interesting.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm a big wrestling fan, so.
Now, of all the comedy festivals that's in the world right now, which ones would you like to play that you haven't played yet?
It'd have to be the one in Australia, the Melbourne Comedy Festival.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, just to have a reason to go to Australia.
Yeah.
And
everyone can kill you.
Well, that's about as international as you can get. That's the longest ride away. Anywhere else is, not that I think that I'm going to be in all these big places, but anywhere else is almost doable.
Yes.
But Melbourne, that's a long flight. So I'd say that one would have to be up there. Probably, it's definitely the one I would want to go to the most.
People think AC/DC's the Thunder from Down Under. Then you get the Melbourne, and it's like, that's the Thunder from Down Under right there.
Yeah.
Now, you got a new podcast coming up, and it's going to be called, We Don't Have Cookies. So what can we expect from that show?
Me just kind of bantering back and forth with some friends of mine. We got some really good people doing segments. One, he's Frankie McDonald.
Yeah.
He's going to do weather updates. He's on YouTube, and he's got a little over 50,000 YouTube subscribers, been on Tosh.0 and stuff.
Okay.
Another one's Marco Fuji. He was on America's Got Talent.
Okay.
Does impressions and stuff. He's a really funny guy. I got a guy named Kenny Bolin who's going to be on the show.
Okay.
Coming up soon. He used to be a pro wrestling manager, and I tell you what, that guy has got some of the craziest stories I've ever heard. Brock Lesnar almost beat him up because he thought he was trying to take his woman.
Oh. Which one was that? Sable or someone else?
It was before he was...
It was before Sable.
Yeah, he was in OVW back then.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
Kenny Bolin's probably 450 pounds, maybe 6'2", so it kind of seemed weird that Brock was worried about this really, a person who wasn't near the shape physically that Brock was in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't want to down Kenny, but I think Kenny would agree that he was in no position to steal Brock's girlfriend. So.
Would you say you weighed 400 pounds?
Well,
was he big?
450.
Okay, he was a big guy.
600, but yeah.
Okay, he's a really big guy. Because I never heard of him. I was trying to think what he looked like.
Yeah, he was John Cena's first manager.
Okay.
I remember him.
Yeah.
He was on an episode of Monday Night Raw a while back.
Yeah, he's a interesting character, to say the very least. Like I said, he's got a million stories. Had a book that came out a couple months ago called "I Probably Screwed You Too: The Mostly True Stories of Kenny Bolin."
With your podcast, are you hoping to get not only those people, but like famous YouTubers like Markiplier? He lives in the United States, so people like them.
One of the things I'm trying to do the most is just find people that I think are entertaining that not a lot of people have heard of, and just bring them in to introduce them. There's a lawyer in Canada that I saw on Periscope. He's an extremely entertaining guy, but nobody in Dayton, Ohio has ever heard of Adam Paglioni. I mean, unless you're on Periscope, and that's maybe 1,000 people. So to introduce people like that is kind of my biggest goal.
So you're trying to get independent people, like people that nobody's heard of.
Yeah. I want to get a couple of people, like Kenny Bolin, for example. He's got a lot of fans. He was on local TV for 20 years in the Kentucky market. So just kind of a variety, but more or less people that have something to bring entertainment-wise that aren't oversaturated.
They're not like, oh, it's that guy. Instead it's like, wait, who's this guy?
Yeah, I don't want somebody who's on 70 different podcasts constantly.
Yeah.
There's a famous YouTuber like that.
And we are back live with Ohio is on Fire. Because I'm your host, Daniel Diesel. I'm with Jason Marshall. And I'm with my special guest co-host, Roly Poly. And he's doing awesome so far. He's giving me the peace sign because he's at peace. And Jason Marshall's going to introduce to us a game. So I'm going to go ahead and let Jason Marshall talk about it. We're going to play this game with him.
Yeah, it's a game called Jinx. We were going to do it on the podcast. Basically, one person. Well, you count down from 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
And then each person says the first thing that comes to their mind.
Yeah.
And then you try to find something that comes between those two words to settle on the same word. So.
Okay.
Should be interesting.
So do people get eliminated? How do you win this game?
Well, it's hopefully. Well, if you don't say the word after they count down and you take too long, then you're out.
Okay.
Or if you both agree on the word, then I guess it's a double winner.
All right.
So,
sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's a very fun card game. If anybody's listening after the show, if you're on a long drive, that's a good way to get to where you're going.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead and lead us off. So we just count down to 3 and we all say something?
Yeah.
All right. You count down then.
All right. Is it you and Roly Poly here?
It's going to be me, Roly Poly, and are you playing?
No, I'll be the judge.
Okay, me and Roly Poly. All right, it's on.
You ready?
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Bacon.
Okay, what was your word?
The.
Bacon and... The. Okay. So we got to find a word between bacon and the. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to come up with it, and I'll count you down. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
The greasy bacon.
What was yours?
Greasy bacon.
All right, well.
You got me.
I said greasy.
I said greasy as well.
I did well. Does that mean we win?
Yeah.
Yeah, woo. We are the champions, my friend. All right, well, we're going to retire from that game so we can quit undefeated.
That's a good note to go out on.
Now, I want to know, what was your favorite comedians growing up, on the national level, or I guess, or any level, really? Who did you really... I'm inspired to be.
My favorite comedian of all time, I'm not sure if growing up's the right word, but would have to be Mitch Hedberg.
Okay.
man, that guy was way ahead of his time and had so much more to give. He was amazing. I went to see him at Joker's too.
Okay.
And I never heard of him before, and I went to see him with my girlfriend, and as soon as he came out, everybody just lost their minds. And that certainly got my attention. And then once he got into a set, I couldn't eat the food that they brought out to me. He was just so funny. So if anybody listening never heard of Mitch Hedberg, you got to check him out, because to me, he's the greatest comedian that ever lived.
Okay. Well, during the break, we were talking about George Carlin also. Where would you consider him one of the best ever?
Yeah, especially with the amount of work that he put out.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anybody putting out that much. Content's not a great word. It's kind of frowned upon now, but you put out that much material.
Yeah.
And it's constantly good to the degree that his was. And
yeah.
Not just funny, but smart. It's thought-provoking and it makes you laugh. Really good stuff, especially with a lot of controversy mixed into that.
Oh, yeah.
And it still got over. So that's hard to do.
One of my favorite ones that he did, maybe the last one, stand special he did, he was talking about the Suicide Network. Reality TV had gotten popular, and nowadays people were looking for new ideas, top what the last show did. And then he discussed that there's going to be a new network called the Suicide Network, where it's 24/7. There's shows dedicated to people committing suicide, and whoever doesn't die wins a lot of money. And it's, as you imagine, it was I thought it was hilarious. But he said there was this game, this one show would be a 1-hour show called Suicide Dive, where the idea is to find new ways to jump off cliffs, like either you're wearing a costume or say your final message to the camera while you're diving. And the person who had the least broken bones would win $1 million. And the joke on that is that they're all going to die, but yet someone wants to try $1 million. He was hilarious. That was good stuff.
I think my favorite skit that he did had to have been this one he did on capital punishment. He said something like, he goes, I strongly believe that if we balance this budget, we could use it by capital punishment, like the executions. He goes, I wouldn't go like, he said something like, I'm not talking about like soft lethal injection. He goes, I'm talking about crucifixion, folks. And he would go on, he goes, that's something that people would actually, would agree. And he said like a class of people he wanted would be the ones to get executed. Mm-hmm. And he's just going on and on of like different ways he would do. He's like, when's the last time he burned someone at the stake? I'm like, oh no. I'm just sitting here dying because he said all these weird ways. And the last one he said, I can't even say it's just that funny. It was bad, but it's like, ouch.
He wasn't afraid to get controversial at all.
Oh no, I mean, he said
had
all
no
7
fear
words.
on stage.
Yeah, I mean, he said the 7 dirty words you cannot say on TV.
Or radio.
He said all 7.
Have you guys heard of Stephen Wright?
Stephen Wright,
sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar, yeah.
He's one of the driest comedians ever, but my God, I mean, he's funny and he's got just ludicrous concepts. It's really good stuff, so you should check him out. Can't really think of much of his material right off the top of my head, but it's a lot of one-liner kind of stuff, and that's really hard to pull off. But he's just got the personality and the tone of voice to really make it work.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel about like the modern comedians or like the roasts they do, like with Kevin, like the recent one, like the roast of Justin Bieber with Kevin Hart as the roast master?
I think some of the roasts are getting toned down now, just because I don't know if they went too far. I think a lot of people feel that they went too far, so that's why they're pulling back. But at the same time, the whole point of the roast is somewhat to go too far in a way.
And you gotta think, and here's another thing to add to a politician that's running. Donald Trump's the only man who's a politician now who can say he's been roasted.
Oh, you know what? I forgot he was even
the roast of Donald Trump. I'm like,
he was, he did have his own roast.
Wow.
Well, if he becomes president, he'll be roasted over and over and over again on his politics. So I hope he's used to it.
Sorry, Donald.
Now, Jason, what stand-up shows do you have coming up for you in the near future?
It's September 29th, 9 p.m.
Yeah?
I'm going to be at the New Chapter in Fairborn, Ohio.
Cool.
Like I said, that's September 29th, 9 p.m. Dale Blomquist, he's going to be the host of the show.
I've heard of him, yes.
Really funny guy, so it should be a good time. If you're around, come check it out.
And when will you release episodes of We Don't Have Cookies?
They're out.
And where we're at?
Yeah, they're out right now. Just go to wedon'thavecookies.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can look it up once on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, and a few other places. Right now, we got 4 episodes out.
Okay, well, I need to check that out because that does sound like a good show. So I'm honored that you were here to talk about it. I will check out some episodes then. Well, Jason, thank you for being on here. You're my first guest of the new year. So thanks for kicking it off with me.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yes, that round of applause. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks to my co-host, I got an audience now of some sort. Woo! Yeah, and then studio audience. Anyway, so there's that. So the amazing Jason Marshall, check him out.